Get ready to jump to new heights. You'll want to focus on all the long baskets. So get up and celebrate with us. You won't want to pass this show up. It's in the back of the net. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We're going to do a quick one tonight.
Yeah, it's an abbreviated Sports Night, but a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Always.
We're going to get right into it. Boys hockey team back on an upswing after a solid week where they posted a couple of back-to-back wins. After losing a pair of games last week, they thought they should win. The Cardinals traveled to St. Paul Park, Highland Park on Tuesday, eager to get that winning feeling again. The Scots wouldn't be an easy win. Their schedule may be not as difficult as the Cardinals, but still, they were riding a 3-game win streak and had won 6 of their previous 7. Cardinals get on the board early in the first. Good pressure, gets the puck out. Tyler George is going to get in on the breakaway, beats the keeper with a quick wrist shot, and it's 1-0 just 2.5 minutes into the game. The celebration is short-lived. The Scots get it right back off the faceoff, get it in deep. Gabe Nelson's evens the score just 4 seconds later. Make the clock operator a little slow on the switch there. Coon Rapids takes the lead again midway through the opening period. Good forecheck to force the turnover. Pass comes to Travis Hess. He fires it to the back of the net. Gives the Cardinals a 2-1 lead right there. Quick release. Puts Cardinals on top. Hess strikes again early in the second. This time racing the length of the ice. He cuts across the slot. Puts a top shelf to get Coon Rapids a little bit of cushion. And they keep the pressure on just over a minute later. Great pass all the way across the zone, circle to circle. And Michael Crosby with a wrist shot for the goal. That gave him a 4-1 lead. The Scots got one late in the second. The Cards hold on for the 4-2 win. And they followed it up with a win over division rival Spring Lake Park, beating the Panthers 5-4 on Thursday. Travis Hess, a goal, 2 assists. Michael Crosby had 1 of each. Sheehan Ruff, a couple of assists. Morissette, Lockett-in, and Colton Ryan had the other goals for the Cardinals. Ty Hansen made 42 saves to get the win. Cardinals outshot in that one, but they come away with the win. Unfortunately, the streak ended on Saturday. They go to overtime against Irondale and come up short. The Knights slip away with a 3-2 overtime win. Morissette, a goal and an assist. Zach Thompson had the other goal. Ty Hansen made 29 saves in that one. And it's good to see them getting that upswing, and they've got a couple of games coming up. They've got a little bit of a breather.
Yep.
They don't play again until Saturday outside against Armstrong Cooper. That's the team that they tied just a couple of weeks ago, 4-4. We'll see firsthand if they're able to duplicate that or even topple the Wings on the outdoor ice. Because Howie?
We'll be there.
And then a week from Wednesday, they will take on Champlin Park. Remember, they beat the Rebels 4-1. Girls hockey team, red hot. Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids Cardinals, Catbirds.
Catbirds.
I didn't say Catbirds. Did you say Catbirds?
I didn't say Catbirds.
Don't call them the Catbirds, but they are flying away right now. Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids with a 5-0 win against Totino Grace on Tuesday of last week. Schultz and Northwest a goal and an assist each. Zarate, Corrigan, and Del Castillo all dented the net as well. Sammy Miller, 20 saves for her 3rd straight shutout. And Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids outshoots Totino 2-1. But even greater feat on Saturday, they beat the number 3 ranked Maple Grove Crimson 1-0. That's 4 straight shutouts for Miss Miller. That's scorching.
They're heating up. They're heating up.
Allbirds got the lone goal early in the 3rd period. They were outshot 29-16, but Miller is on fire. 4 straight shutouts. 11-8-1. They beat the Crimson.
Well, as you know, when you have a hot goaltender, we always talk you can't win the game, but you can keep them in it. And certainly Sammy Miller is playing out of her mind. She's red hot right now. And really, this team is hitting on all cylinders at the right time of the year.
Yeah. A hot goaltender can take you a long way. Goalies can't win a game because they can't score, but they can definitely keep you from losing a close game. And she is doing just that. 4 straight shutouts. That's very, very impressive.
Phenomenal.
The Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids squad hosts Irondale on Tuesday. They're at Armstrong Cooper on Friday, and then travel north to East Grand Forks on Saturday. Wrestling team, a couple of events last week, a dual meet against the Blaine Bengals. That was actually on Thursday. They beat the Bengals 42-21. The Bengals won the first two matches. The Cardinals came back and won like the next four. They sealed it up through the middleweights. And then Tim Mandyke, that was the key match of the night. Number 4 ranked Tim Mandyke against Blaine's number 5 ranked heavyweight. And Mandyke gets the pin in just 1 minute, 25 seconds. On Saturday, the wrestling team went to Eastview for the Lightning Invitational. This is kind of an interesting individual tournament. It's just a straight bracket, but some brackets only have 8 guys, some have 12. So the brackets change, so you have a different record to get to the same place in the bracket. Tim Mandyke only needed 2 wins to get the first place victory. Logan Rothstein had a 3rd place finish. 4th place finish for Spobany, Medimba, and Howe. 5th place finishes for Degris, Weiser, and Nick Berg. And Nick Berg's kind of an interesting one there at 182 because his major decision, I believe that's the one it was. No, it must have been somebody else. I got to look back now. But one of the Cardinals, I know that it was Frondarius Willis ended up getting beat by a teammate, and I think that might have been the Nick Berg. So the Cardinals,
interesting.
They didn't have anybody, I think, at 170. I think that's what it was. They didn't have anybody at 170, had 2 guys at 182.
Very cool.
They end up running into each other. And unfortunately for Frondarius, the greatest name in the business, he ended up on the short side. Wrestling team has a long break here, longest of the season. They're off until next Thursday when they host Elk River. And then they will be at the Blaine Duels on Saturday, the 4th.
The gymnastics team continues to improve as the Cardinals are making up for the loss of captain and leader Hannah Gross. Last week we told you of the Cardinals' first victory, and they posted their best score since Gross's injury opening night. This past week their score dropped a little, but still they put up a solid number. But it wouldn't matter against a machine known as Champlain Park. Several girls have stepped up to the challenge and are taking advantage of their opportunity to be the team leaders. Most notably is probably Aaliyah Vu. She had an outstanding meet against Champlain. She took 4th place on the vault with an 8.3. Cassie Rushmeyer is shouldering a little more load as well. She was right behind Vu on the vault, finishing 5th with an 8.275. Vu was the Cardinals' leader on the bars as well. This routine would earn her a 6th place finish with an 8.275. She also finished 4th in the all-around with a 31.15. Rachel Dieters led Coon Rapids on the final 2 events of the evening, back-to-back handsprings. As part of a difficult routine on the beam, she had a little step on the dismount, still posts a solid 8.025 to take 6th place. Dieters are very strong on the floor coming up as well. This tumbling run with 2 straight somersaults helped her to a score of 8.5. Another 6th place finish. Dieters finished 5th in the all-around with a 30.925. Cardinals scored a 122.375, which is solid, but they lost to Champlain Park's 144.075.
Just a monster number.
Huge.
Even healthy, I don't think they touch the 144s, but nice to see the other girls stepping up, their scores improving.
No question.
And I'm sure that Hannah is happier than anyone right along the sidelines, cheering them all the way. Cardinals are at Irondale Spring Lake Park on Wednesday and then at Centennial next week. Swimming and diving team coming off a busy week, which included Saturday's Section 7 AA True Team Championships. But first, the Cardinals hosted poolmate Blaine on Thursday. It was Parents' Night, and the Cardinals were just hoping for a good showing against a very tough Blaine squad with a lot of team depth. Wasn't much of a surprise that the Bengals used that depth to build a big lead early, but the Cardinals still had some impressive performances. Alex Schmidt swimming the 200 IM. He'll cruise to the wall with a solid 2nd place finish in 2:17.78. Only a couple of 1st place finishes for Coon Rapids. First comes from senior captain Aaron Rosso on diving. Forward 1.5 in the bike position, part of a 169.35, gets the top spot of the podium. A couple of events later, it's Schmidt again, this time showing off his endurance in the 500 free. He dominates this race, taking 1st place in 5 minutes, 25.81 seconds, more than 20 seconds ahead of 2nd place. Cardinals never, though, threatened the lead, losing to the Bengals 103-75. On Saturday, everybody improved a little bit. Coach Donaldson's email was very enthusiastic about how well they swam at True Team. As a team, they finished in 7th place out of the 7 teams in Section 7 AA. But Matt Struess A sixth-place finish in the 100 fly in 1 minute 1.10 second. He also had that is a middle school record. He also had a middle school record leading off the 400 free relay team, which finished in 7th place. Aaron Russell, a lifetime best with 281.75. Alex Schmidt also placed 8th in the 200 free. Schultze, 10th place in the 100 fly, and I believe 10th place in, obviously I forgot to put that on there.
In another event.
In another event. I've got it here in the 100 breast.
All right.
All right. Alex Schmidt, 11th place in the 500 free. Oh, I have the 11th. I got Schultze up there 3 times. I don't know.
You really like? He's a good swimmer. You really like him.
I made a mistake somewhere along the line. It happens. But upcoming for the swimming and diving team, they got back-to-back meets this week. They're at Anoka on Tuesday, and then they host Irondale on Wednesday. And then they'll have a bit of a break before the section tournament. Nordic ski team, despite the warm weather last week, it did change their schedule a little bit. They were still able to get a couple of events in. They had a 5K on Tuesday, and they finished, boys finished in 4th place. Jared Haida, number 3 overall. Ricky Petrov in 9th. Paul Breitbach, 19th. Mitch Zandarowski in 31st, and Joe Thoen in 42nd. Girls finished in 6th place in that event. Olivia Ellenbecker in 12th, with her sister Abby right behind her in a tie for 13th. Izzy Aberman was in 29th. Galadriel O'Grady, 44th, and Gilliard finished in a tie for 47th. On Saturday, they headed north to Duluth for the Marshall Freestyle invite. Got them a chance to ski some different terrain against some teams they're not used to seeing. And man, there are some good teams up north. Ely, I think, finished, I don't remember if it was girls or boys, but they had 6 of the top 7 finishers.
That's pretty good.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, you bet.
Boys finished 4th place in that event. Paul Breitbach, top Cardinal finisher. Jared Haida in 16th. Ricky Petrov in 24th, Zandarowski 31st, and Nick Jorgensen finishes in 36th. The girls finished in 5th place in that event. Olivia Ellenbecker in 19th, Abby in 26th, Haberman in 30th, Blomberg in 39th, and Galadriel O'Grady finished in 40th place. Coming up for the Nordic ski team, fingers crossed, they will have a 5K freestyle at Theodore Wirth on Wednesday and a 5K classic at Elm Creek on Thursday. Those are, I believe, still going to be scored as pursuit, but don't quote me on that. Alpine ski team had its 4th race. They have no problem with the weather. Of course, they make the snow over at the hills. Good news is Josh Whelan was not held out very long from that injury we talked about last week. He was back to lead the team with a 25th place finish. Aaron Caroon in 28th, Sides was 30th, Tweedy 34th, and Hawkinson 43rd. Cardinals finished 6th. Girls team finished 7th. Molly Bolin, a very impressive 8th place finish, finished with 56.67 seconds. Emma Bolin in 19th. Verbeek 63rd. A typo for Berg is actually 64th. As you can tell, she's right behind her. Bio is 69th, and Eckert right behind her in 70th place. Just about 0.6 of a second back. And after 4 races, they've got one more. They've got both the Bolin sisters, Wieland and Caroon, both running all conference right now with 1 race left to go.
That's
that
great.
race coming up at Trollhagen on Thursday. And then they have some time off. Section 7 championships will be held at Giants Ridge on Tuesday, the 7th of February. Boys basketball team, wow, are they exciting this season, and they keep it going this past week. Beat Centennial on Tuesday, 57-48. Lionel Warner and Tyrion Johnson, 17 points each to lead the way. Pratt and Winston each had 6. Carver finished with 4 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. Add to the drama, they went to overtime on Friday at home in front of the home crowd. The home crowd got to splash out onto the court after a 65-61 win in an extra period against the Huskies. Lionel Warner, 22 points. Tyrion had 16. Marcel came off the bench with 12. Brandon Pratt had 6. And Sam Carver had 4 points, 2 boards, and 2 assists. Upcoming, the road gets a little tougher. We'll see them on Tuesday.
We will.
They've
We'll
got
be
a
there.
good chance
They do.
to keep their streak alive against Totino Grace, but on Friday, the Champlain Park Rebels come to town, and they're currently number 1 in state.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
they're
Coach
only-
O was a little disappointed we didn't have a camera there on Friday night.
They're
by the
only
way.
number 1.
They're just number 1.
Just number 1.
But it's a soft number 1.
A soft number 1. Hey, anything can happen. Any
Yep.
given Friday.
Absolutely, no question
All
about
right.
it. They're awfully good, though.
They are.
Well, the girls' basketball team felt pretty good going into last week's play, coming off their big win over Blaine. But they knew the road was about to get a lot tougher. On Tuesday, they welcomed the 7th-ranked Centennial Cougars to the Fieldhouse. The Cougars were coming off back-to-back losses, just their second and third of the year, and they came out hungry to get their season back on track. Centennial starts fast. Sydney Stapleton with the steal, goes in alone for the basket. Cougars' full-court pressure paying off. Cardinals are going to be able to exploit it, though. Long pass down court to Caitlin Ackerman on the breakaway. She converts, keeps the Cardinals close early on. But only 2 Coon Rapids players made it on the score sheet in the first half. Great play in the post by Ellie Carver right here. 2 of her 6 first-half points. Cougars getting contributions all over the floor. Claire Orth left alone in the corner, hits the 3. Centennial on top, 30-13 at the half. It continues into the second. Taylor McCauley with a good drive to the left side of the lane, pushing the lead to over 20 points. Cardinals just unable to get any streaks going to cut into the lead. Caitlin Ackerman able to score in the paint. She led Coon Rapids with 9, but Centennial runs away with the win. In this one, Laura Gallup with the steal. She'll leave it off for Sarah Lavelle. She scores, plus the foul. Cougars coast to the 64-33 win. And they're pretty impressive, and we talked about it.
You want to talk about
they came
teams
in
that are
hungry.
pretty good.
They came in hungry, and they didn't look back. They put the pedal to the metal and stepped on it.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Stuff like that there.
Unfortunately, the Cardinals downed again on Friday when they traveled to take on Andover, losing to the Huskies 78-49. Ellie Carver led the scoring with 12 points. The Caitlins each had 9. Kennedy Kerr and Lainey Hanneman each added 6 points for the Cardinals. And they've got a couple of road games this week. Winnable, but difficult. At Totino on Tuesday, at Champlain Park on Friday. Champlain Park, a good team, but not the same kind of level as the boys.
Yeah, and again, the girls just trying to put that consistency together. Better season than they had a year ago. They've got some opportunities to finish with a better record, obviously, than they did last year. So they're going to continue to play good ball and hope to get a win.
Well, and definitely the season has had its adversity, and the way they're handling it is actually pretty admirable, considering all things considered.
No question.
Especially the win over Blaine. Like to see them get back to that and get a couple more wins, but watching them against Centennial, they were clearly outmatched. The Centennial team just keeps moving. They move fast. They know what they're doing as soon as they get the ball, making those decisions. It was tough for the Cardinals to keep up pace-wise, and before you knew it, they were just sinking, and Centennial didn't let off the gas until the second half of the second half. When they essentially had their JV team out there.
They did it, and you have to be impressed with the way Centennial presses. I mean, they constantly press. Didn't matter what the score was when that first team was in. They continued to press all night long.
So we wish the girls the best of luck this week again at Totino on Tuesday, at Champlain on Friday. Hope to have some good news to talk about on their part for you next week. As for us, we will be at the barn on Tuesday for the boys' game against the Eagles. Should be an interesting one. Tip-off 7 o'clock, and then an outdoor hockey game on Saturday as the Cardinals take on the Armstrong Cooper Wings. And then we'll see that girls' basketball team again on Tuesday facing a very strong Elk River team. We just like to put the ranked teams on there.
Why not?
Yeah,
it's... We're hoping for that upset so we can be there to witness.
Right? Because Deb's going to look at that and go, really? You only come when we face the top 10
Well, that's
teams.
what she said to me about Centennial. Really?
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Number 7? Well, I think Elk River last I looked like number 3.
Yeah.
So they're okay.
It's a great conference.
Hey, boys, you got top 2 teams in the Northwest Suburban.
Yep.
Love them getting respect.
1 and 2 in the state. Boys
Love them
basketball.
getting them respect. And hey, girls hockey team is proof. Just because they're highly ranked doesn't mean they can't be beaten. Go out and get them this week, guys.
Upsets.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continue to support everything we do here at CTN for the entire crew, including the one and only Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young. Say good night.